अभी होन हो गया yes okay so now I'm audible so okay
Yes, sir, you're audible.
okay thank you sorry this is the basically uh, today's topic of this FDP that is research methodology, the significance of research and criteria of a good research. So please let me show that I am audible. Yes, please, I am audible. Screen is visible. Hello. I want to know two things that please, this one thing is screen is visible and other is, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us start with this very important topic. So basically, this research is simply, we can say, a systematic, redefined technique of this thinking, employing specialized tools, instruments, and procedures in order to obtain more adequate solutions of a problem than would be possible under ordinary means. So it starts with the problem, collects data uh, or facts, analyze these critically, and reaches decisions based on actual evidence. So it involves the original work instead of this mere exercise or we can say personal opinions. So it evolves a genuine desire to know rather than a desire to prove something. So seeking to know not only what, how much, and measurement. Therefore, this measurement is a central feature of research. So the significance of research will be understood in solving operational problems. Uh, the progress of any nation directly related with the research and related activities. So research inculcates scientific and thinking, rather logical thinking, and it encourages the development of logical habits of questioning and thinking. So this research is equally important for social scientists in studying social relationship and seeking answers to various social problems. It provides the intellectual satisfaction of knowing a few things just for the sake of knowledge, and also has practical utility for the social scientists to know for the sake of being able to do something better or in a more efficient manner. So research plays a very important role in decision making. Although decision making may not be a direct, we can say, direct part or direct question of the several researchers, research positively accelerates the decisions of the policy makers. All governments, or we can say all the policies of government, okay, the success or failure of the policy depends upon the how much research is carried out before implementing the same. So research has its extraordinary significance in solving, forecasting, uh, and planning problems of an organization. A number of functioning and active problems of industry. Research plays a vital role in market research fields. So, without research, it is very difficult to survive in any market. So, motivational research is thought fundamental than more than one way in taking business and administrative decisions. So, now coming to definition of this different, the common accepted definition of research. Research is an endeavor to discover answers to intellectual and practical problems, real life problems, through the application of scientific methods. So, research is a systematized effort to gain new knowledge. Uh, More universally accepted definition, research is the systematic process of collecting, analyzing information that is known as data. It may be primary data or secondary data in order to increase our understanding of the phenomena about which we are concerned or interested. So basically, objectives of research, the purpose of the purpose of research is to discover the answers. Okay, so there is a problem in this slide. So the objectives to gain familiarity with the phenomena, uh, to achieve uh, new insights into it. Exploratory or formulative research, the portrait to portray accurately characteristics of the particular individual situation, to determine the frequency with which something occurs. So this relates mainly medical field. So characteristics of a research. So research is the characteristics of a good research. Research is directed towards the solution of a problem. So I will also discuss what is a scientific method, what is non-scientific method. So research is based on observable experience, empirical evidence. Research demands accurate observations and description. So research involves gathering new data. It may be from primary source, or we can use existing data for the new purpose. Research activities are characterized by carefully designed procedures. Research requires expertise, that is a skill necessary to carry out investigation. So certain prerequisites are there in order to get good results from a result. So necessary skill is also required to carry out the investigation and search related literature. So literature is very, very important. So literature, how to understand and analyze the data. Research is objective and logical, applying every possible test to validate the data collected and conclusions reached. Research involves the quest for answer to unsolved problems. Research requires this courage. So there are number of we can say qualities that are required in a good researcher. So patience, determination, etc. So research is carefully recorded and reported. So now coming to scientific methods. So I will also discuss these qualities of a good academic research, because we are dealing with academics. So this is also important. Scientific, this science refers to the body of systematic and organized knowledge, which makes the use of scientific methods to acquire knowledge in a particular field of inquiry. So scientific method is the systematic collection of data, facts, and their theoretical treatment through proper observation, experimentation, and interpretation. Scientific method attempts to achieve a systematic interrelation of facts by experimentation, observations, and logical arguments from accepted postulates, and a combination of these three in this varying proportion. So now basic this postulates or in scientific method it relies on always, it relies on empirical evidence. It utilizes this relevant concepts. So the well-known concepts already developed. Okay. So it is committed to only objective considerations, and it presupposes ethical neutrality. This is also very, very important component, or we can say factor, to get good results, or to carry out a good research. This ethical neutrality. So it results into probabilistic this predictions. This depends upon the nature of problem or type of research. This the methodology is made known. So this is the what we are doing today. Presently, this that means methodology should be clear, aims at formulating scientific theories. So purpose clearly defined. So this is the basically these terms comes under criteria of a good research. This purpose must be purpose should be clearly defined, and research process details. So then research design thoroughly planned, and then high ethical standards applied, and whatever the limitations, so the limitations frankly revealed. So don't we can not manipulate. Okay. So adequate analysis for decision makers need, and finding presented this any ambiguity, and conclusions justified. So this researcher's experience reflected, and then qualities of a good research, we can say in summary, it should be systematic, scientific, logical, empirical, evidence based, replicable. So it must be repeated. So results must be same with plus minus variation. So systematic, logical, this empirical, evidence based, replicable, and creative. So use of then multiple methods. So depending upon the nature of problem, type of problem, so multiple methods uh, may be used. Then what is the need for research? So basically these some few slides are common for every field, and these are the basic related with this research methodology as a whole. So this is the we can say need, exploration. So this describe, and then diagnose, and hypothesis, induction and deductions, and this the research for decision making. So this throws light on risk and uncertainty, identify alternative course of action, helps in economic use of resources. So generally, government make policies, economic policies, through this research, good research, helps in project identification, and solves pricing problem, solves allocation problems, solve decision making issues HR. ठीक है, solves various operational and planning problems of business and industry. So provides basic for all government policies in our economic system, helps social this scientists studying the this and seeking answers to various we can say social problems. For students, the research means a career to develop, to make their career, and a way to attain high position in the social structure. For professionals, research it means a source of livelihood also. So now this is the slide continues. So For analysis, intellectual research means generalization of new theories and not similar to science uncontrollable variables, human tendencies. Basically, these are the problems. What are the problems in research? Not similar to science, uncontrollable variables. So, as we know that variables, some variables are controllable and some are uncontrollable, even unpredictable. Human tendencies. So, human tendency varies from we can say place to place. Then time and money is also a problem, so especially in India. So this money, very less budget is kept for these types of research and development activities. Then lack of computerization means upgradation. Now computers are sufficient, but these systems should be upgraded up to the mark. So latest systems. Then lack of scientific training in the methodology of research. So now we are seeing that work is going on these fields. So now this subject is compulsory at MTech level. Previously, when, for example, I have completed MTech in 1995, at that time this subject was not compulsory. So then lack of confidence on the part of business units. So insufficient interaction between a university research department. So this is also major problem. And then this ethical lack of code of conduct. Code of conduct is there, but there is a problem of implementation. Difficulty of adequate and timely secretarial assistances. So if you have seen that in form, so researchers work on real problems with collaboration of industry and government gives full support to solve these the types of problems, real life problems. So this is the, I think, now role in, so this is something, yeah, role of research in decision making, how the research gives, we can say, assists policymakers or HR for decision making. So decision making is the process of selecting the best alternative from the available set of alternatives. So management is chiefly concerned with the decision making and its implementation. These decisions should be based on appropriate studies, evaluations, and observations. So research provides us with knowledge and skill needed to solve the problems and to meet the challenges of the fast-paced decision-making environment. Why this is so? Then decision making activities. So this intelligent activity, according to this Harvard's is some Simon says intelligent activity, three component or three activities. So scanning the environment for identifying conditions necessary for the decision. This designing activity, identifying, developing, and analyzing the alternative course of action. So choice activity, choosing the best course of action from we can say available alternatives. If I so factors that affect the, so this is related with we can say social science. Factors that affects the managerial decisions. So internal factors, external factors. So some quantitative factors can be measured, for example time, resources, and cost factor. ठीक है. So these factors include internal as well as external. So then qualitative factors, these cannot be measured. Quantitative factors can be measured, ठीक है, by different method techniques. So then uncertainty factors, which cannot be predicted. So now type of research. So, so I will focus on basically this uh, qualities of academic research. So this descriptive research, then we can say descriptive versus analytical research. Descriptive research is the fact, but it is important for the beginner. Descriptive research is the fact finding investigation, which is aimed at describing the characteristics of individual situation or a group, describing the same affair as it exists at present. Then analytical research is primarily concerned with the testing of hypotheses and specifying and interpreting relationship by analyzing the factors or information already available. So applied versus fundamental research. So this is again very important. Applied, this applied research carried out to find the solutions of the this we can say problem require and action or policy decision. So fundamental research, which is also known as basic or pure research, is undertaken by the for the sake of knowledge without any intention to apply it in practice. So it is undertaken of intellectual, this we can say out of intellectual curiosity, and is not necessarily problem oriented. So then quantitative versus qualitative research. Quantitative research is employed for measuring the quantity or amount of a particular phenomena by the use of statistical analysis. Then qualitative research is a non-quantitative type and analysis, we can say, which is aimed at finding out the quality of a particular phenomena. Then conceptual and empirical research. So this is very important academically. Conceptual research is generally used by philosophers and thinkers to develop new concepts or interpret the existing. So empirical research is a data-based research. This empirical research is a data-based research which depends on experience, observation. It is aimed at coming up conclusion without due regard for the we can say system and theory. So practical. Then some other types of researches, okay. So there are a number of other types of researches. Depending upon the problem, we classify as a specific research. For example, diagnostic research is important in medical field, and then longitudinal research is carried out over we can say long period of time. And this exploratory research, it is primarily studied, it is primarily study of the of an unfamiliar problem about which the researcher has little or no knowledge. It is aimed to gain familiarity with the problem, to generate new ideas, to make a precise formulation of the problem. Hence, it is also known as formulative research. So then experimental research. So it is designed to assess the we can say effect of one particular parameter on the response, on the output. Then historical research. So it is the basically past records and other information sources. Okay. So this is the one we can say systematic research process. So everyone who have a bent of mind or who wants research must go through this process, must know this process. It starts from research starts from defining a problem. Then we can say from questions. Basically, this is the research is the answer of questions, well planned, we can say questions. So this is the how research process is carried out. There are 6 7 steps. So first of all, we define the research problem. This review of previous research findings, and review of concepts. So well defined concepts, theory. ठीक है, this for example laws of friction, ठीक है, concept or hypothesis was given previously, and then it is proved after, ठीक है, after long time. So how the problem is defined, review this various research findings. So the previous research finding, then concept, it may be even government reports, previous reports. Then formulate a hypothesis and design research. This also including sample design. Then collect data. We all know, then analysis of data. So before analyzing, even data is organized. Collect data, then the data should be organized, and then analysis of data. So and then interpretation and report, final conclusions. Okay. So this is how the now research problem. So what is a research problem? The term this problem means a question or issue to be solved, to be examined. This research problem refers to some difficulty, need, which a researcher experiences in the context of either theoretical or practical situation, and wants to obtain a solution for the same. So how do we know we have a search problem? So customer complaints, this is related again, social HR, marketing, then conversation with company employees. So this basically again these factors related with social search. Then deviation from business plan, ठीक है, success of the firm, the competitor, then a relevant reading of published material, and company records and reports. So that gives us a problem, ठीक है. Then first step, this identification or selection of the problem, formulation of the problem. So well-defined problems gives good results. This basically the first step involves the identification of a problem, a few problems, and selection of one out of them after evaluating and alternative that's against certain selection criteria. So sources of a problem. So from where we get a problem? Readings, academic experience. Okay? So academic experience, when we do same thing again and again, then we automatically some questions are raised in our mind. So some daily experiences, exposure to the field situations, then consultations, brainstorming gives good problems. Then just we can say research mind, okay, intuitions, etc. So the selection, how, what is the criteria of a selection? The selection of appropriate research problem out of the identified problems require evaluation of these uh, alternatives. Again, certain criteria, they are this personal criteria, researchers interest, and researchers competence, research's own resource and finance and time. This is the criteria for all factors must be taken into account in order to complete or in order to get good results from the problem. Okay? These problems, these factors must be we can I mean to say that it must be feasible. Feasibility study should be carried out so that at some point finance में problem, time management is a great we can say factor. Then external criteria and factors, then we can say researchability of the problem, importance, urgency, nobility of the problem, then flexibility, facilities, usefulness, and this social relevance. So these are the certain factors. Then definition. So now I'm going towards this. We can say after this qualities of a good academic research. Then let us see how formulation basically the process of refining the research ideas, research questions or objectives. So research objectives must be clearly defined, so it would be very helpful if we defined by numbers. Research objectives, number one, this, number two, this. So it must be relevant and specific. And then formulation means the translating or transforming the selected research problem, topic, idea into the scientifically researchable questions. Okay, it is concerned with specifying exactly what the research problem is. So problem definition or a problem statement must be clear, precise, ठीक है, statement of questions, issues that is to be investigated with the goal of finding the answers. So when a well-defined problem means 50% your problem, your work is done. This There are two ways stating a problem: posting a questions again related with social, this making declarative statements. Okay, then process involved in defining the this problem, statement of the problem in a general way, serving the available literature, very important. Almost in every field, literature or this previous findings, very important. The knowledge of the previous reports, research papers, and literature, published literature, and one more important, that is the patents. Patents are also helpful in this, we can say, defining the or formulating the problem. So then in the developing ideas, ठीक है, rephrasing the research problem, and now this is the summarized, we can say, criteria. It should be clear, ठीक है, no doubt, and empirical, verifiable, and interesting, novel, and original, and research must be original. ठीक है, this is again very important component or factor, that is the originality. Then availability of guidance, this is also important in order to do successful or good research. So now define a problem, clear cut research objectives. So that I am asking that objectives must be clear and numbered, 1 2 3. So then these are the some symptom detection analysis. This is a flow diagram, problem definition, statement of research objectives. So research objectives are the specific component of the research problem that you that we will working to answer or to complete in order to answer the overall research problem. So the objective refers to the questions, or we can say factors, or to be answered through the we can say study. They indicate what we are trying to get from the study, or the expected result or outcome of the study. Research objectives should be clear and achievable, as they directly assist in answering the research problem. The objective may be specified in the form of either statement or questions. Generally, they are written as a statement using the word to. So, to discover, to determine, to establish. So, these are the standard how the research objectives should be mentioned. So then now this starts review of literature. So we all know that a review of literature is very important. So in today's time, in modern time, it is we can say lot of materials available on net, and it is we can say easy relatively. If we think about the past, this we can say 20 years ago, then the we can say the procedure of this literature survey, matlab the source of literature was libraries, and then printed journals, and printed this we can say published government reports and some patents. But nowadays, this digital in digital age, lot of material in every field is available on internet, and on some in this national international digital libraries, and there are sources are we can say uh, this depends upon the researcher and trust of the researcher, and lots of this literature is available, but it is the competency of we can say researcher. So how deep he can go in his specific field. So this is the we can say important component of almost all fields. So it is not possible to do research by ignoring literature, or by ignoring we can say the previous work. The previous work, the previous work may be, it may be individual work, it may be an organization work, it may be this industrial work, or it may be the published well defined the countries like US, Canada published this reports on we can say different issues. The government reports are available, okay? So indicating the year, years that we can say time. So from this year to this year, this is the status. So some even handbooks are also available, standard handbooks almost in every field. So let us coming to this we can say qualities of a. So now this is the last part of my lecture, that qualities of a good academic research. So in research, so this is I have taken from one research paper. I meant this IMED, IMET. So this knowledge in various academics field is expanding every day, and all this knowledge is the result of good academic research. In fact, according to this National Science Foundation, and some certain these references of are given in the Nature this magazine, and this National Science Foundation global research output for science and engineering. So alone grew at an annual this rate is given, okay? So decade wise. So good research, then peer reviewed journal articles and conference papers we can say science and engineering are being published in each year. So because most of participants are for engineering background as well as management. So academic research involves more than just choosing topic and collecting and analyzing data. To be considered good, research must meet certain criteria. So this article taken from net. So this aims to answer the questions. What are the characteristics of a good research, as we discussed earlier, by listing the criteria for such research, hopefully. So this we can say guide, or this paper will be helpful researchers to ensure the quality of their work. So now, first question is, what is academic research? So research is a common activity in academic institutions all over the world. So in United States, for example, research output is bolstered by educational institutions such as Harvard University, Stanford University, and some other important universities. ठीक है, indexed by this nature. This called scholarly research, academic research, has been defined as the research that has the role, purpose of creating or furthering this knowledge. Academic research also tend to be theoretically focused, and its findings are evaluated uh, through peer review and made public through scholarly journals and academic conferences. In many cases, this academic research, in many cases, uh, academic research is defined in contrast to the professional research, also called applied research. Uh, Professional research is carried out to find solutions to practical problems. This research is also commonly organized, this we can say, focused. So इसी ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ academic research versus professional research. So the which we will focus our focus how this academic research this thinks about a particular folks, and how we can say comparison between academic research and professional research. For example, folks, this research questions or framework, first folks of both the research. So questions tend to be conceptual. Academic research, in academic research, questions should be tend to this conceptual, where in professional research the questions are usually practical. Okay, so this is the difference between academic research and professional research from research question point of view, or we can say research framework point of view. So again, that this academic research theoretically focused, ठीक है, whereas this professional research we can say organizationally focused. So this question, this research question tend to be conceptual academic research, and question are usually practical in case of professional. Similarly, if we take purpose of study, so this adds to the larger body of knowledge, incremental improvement in case of academic research. Whereas in professional research finds the solution to immediate issues. Okay? So again, leads to the decision making strategies. No? So evaluation. So third point is evaluation or folks, and this academic research checks this results are assessed through peer review. When we send a paper, then it is reviewed again and again, ठीक है, updated and ultimately accepted. So results are assessed through the peer review to ensure it meets academic standards. Okay? This is academic research. And then professional research point of view, findings are assessed. Findings are assessed by the organization involved, or we can say against industry standards. Okay? Availability of findings. Availability of findings, it is one of the factor, component, or folks. Availability of findings. Findings are made public in academics. When we write a paper, so it is made public. And whereas professional research findings are kept private. Findings are for organization internal uses. So ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ finance ਵੀ involve ਹੈ, proprietary items. ठीक है? So publication output. Publication output in case of academic research, academic writing such as a dissertation, thesis. So sorry, I was muted. But just this is the, we can say, sound research question is one of the most important characteristics. So to ho gaya again repetition hai, so I will not repeat again the terminology. So given a one word, finer, FINER. So what is the full form of finer? FIN, fine, finer. Finer means, F means feasible, I means interesting, N means noble, E means ethical, and R is relative. So, in one sentence, we concluded that this framework research questions are, we can say research problem is F finer. Okay? Feasible, interesting, noble, ethical, and relevant. So good research follows this. I'm talking about academic research, systematic, the appropriate research methodology, as we study as a subject. So qualitative, quantitative, all the aspects. Then mixed methods, and then this good research acknowledge the previous research topics. This is very important, and only 2 3 points are left. Then good research uses relevant empirical data, proper data analysis method. So the data analysis method are being, we can say, new and new upgraded. So the relevant this data analysis method must be used softwares, updated softwares. Okay? And then good research is a academic research, representative and generalizable. ठीक है, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਮਨ ਹੈ ਆਲਮੋਸਟ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਸੋ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅੱਗੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸੈਂਪਲਿੰਗ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਡਿਟੇਲ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੈਸੇ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੈਂਪਲ ਰੈਂਡਮ ਸੈਂਪਲਿੰਗ ਹੈ, ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟੀਫਾਈਡ ਸੈਂਪਲਿੰਗ ਹੈ, ਕਲਸਟਰ ਸੈਂਪਲਿੰਗ ਹੈ, ਕੋਟਾ ਕਨਵਿੰਸ ਸੈਂਪਲਿੰਗ ਹੈ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, that depends upon the problem. Good research is guided by logic. This is very important. ठीक है, research without logic is meaningless. Good research has external validity. ठीक है, good researcher must have external validity. What it means, if the result of findings can be applied to the real world. ठीक है, मतलब ਉੱਥੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਾਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੈਲਿਡ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਰੀਪਰੋਡਿਊਸਿਬਲ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। If your research findings can be generalized to the other situations or applied, so your study is, we can say, external valid, externally valid. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਵਿਦਿਨ ਲੈਬ ਹੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੈਗੇ, ਇਟ ਮਸਟ ਬੀ ਰੀਪਰੋਡਿਊਸੇਬਲ ਐਨੀਵੇਅਰ ਇਨ ਦਾ ਵਰਲਡ. So good research has external validity. On last point, good research, only 2 points. Good research is replicable, reproducible and transparent. Okay, good research is guided by logic, that हो गया साढ़े को done already. Good research external, good research वो भी हो गया, ठीक है. Then good research acknowledge the its limitations and provide suggestions for the future scope, future research. Good researcher acknowledge its limitations. Frankly, limitation must be frankly revealed. And last point, good research is ethical. This is very very important. Understandably, good research is carried out according to research ethics, code of conduct. Okay, so this ethics are very important. For example, health organization research ethics provide the standards of conduct for the scientific researchers. So these standards help to protect the rights and dignity of the research participants while ensuring that researchers practice value such as honesty, objectivity, integrity, accountability in their work. Okay, so these are the some good qualities. To some of most common violations of the research. So this I also mentioned. These are very important. For example, plagiarism. We nowadays we check plagiarism, even single page. Okay, of any thesis report or paper are checked. So these are some of the most common violations. What are the violations? Falsification. This involves the manipulation and omission of data or findings. Then fabrication. There are three words: false, falsification, and then fabrication and plagiarism. But in fabrication involves the making up data or results and presenting these as accurate. वैसे ही फैब्रिक कर लिया, ठीक है, ਮਤਲਬ ਐਕਚੁਅਲ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਐਕਸਪੈਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋ ਮੇਜਰਮੈਂਟਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਜਾਂ ਸਟੈਂਡਰਡ ਮੈਥਡਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤੇ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ. ਦੈਨ ਪਲੈਗਰਿਜ਼ਮ, ਵੀ ਆਲ ਨੋ plagiarism refers to the use of another person's work without giving due credit. So for example, I am mentioning his name, I am presenting this article to you. First I mentioned his name, so the author, original author must be acknowledged, referred. So but this is the plagiarism. Plagiarism refers to the use of another person's work without giving due credit. So thank you very much. So as the time is very short, so our next program is this planned at 11. So thank you so much. Thank you all participants and organization teams. Once again, I am very, very thankful to our Honorable VC sir and Atal in this we can say academy for giving us a chance to conduct this program, online program. So thank you all participants, organizing committee, our HOD, principal, VC sir. So thank you very much. So now I leave the meeting.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your experience shared with us. Thank you very much. Dear participants, it's time for a half an hour break as the AICT organize a combined inaugural ceremony, and the link for the same is in the chat box, and you can join uh, that combined inaugural ceremony by the AICT. After half an hour, at 11:30, we will rejoin with the same link, and Dr. Ravikant from IIT Ropar, professor in mechanical engineering, share their experience in research, and you are requested to kindly join combined AICT inaugural ceremony with the link in the chat box. Thank you very much. And I also request to all participants, please mark your attendance in every session in the link in Google Form link, which is in chat box. That is, attendance is compulsory for all participants. So you can uh, mark your attendance with the Google Form link. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And we are again request you to join combined inaugural ceremony by AICT. The link is in your chat box and also in the WhatsApp group. You can join with WhatsApp group or uh, in chat box. Okay, some participants are messaging that Google link for the attendance. We are again share the link for the attendance. So you are requested to kindly to make sure to mark your attendance in the Google form. So that is in your chat box. Please check